wanna watch this video though. It caught my attention because what the fuck do you mean?
Ended it in a matter of you've taken 27 years of joy, laughter, and happiness, and ended it in a matter of minutes. This is a monster.
Jameer, you breaking in my house? Like, are you serious? You breaking in my house, Jameer?
Why would I break in your house?
Why are you at my door with gloves on and all that?
Whoever did this is a real cop.
These nurses dedicated their entire lives to saving others, but in the end, no one could save them.
Like that
their
shit
lives
is plural.
were
Like
brutally
what are
taken
you?
from them by the people they loved and trusted the most. What's worse, their lives were horrifically ended at their places of work. The same places where they saved countless lives. Let's uncover the chilling stories of nurses who were brutally murdered by their ex-boyfriends while they were just trying to do their jobs. What drove these men to such unspeakable violence? And could these tragedies have been prevented? These are the horrifying stories of nurses who were killed by their ex-boyfriends while at work.
It is believed that he abducted 29-year-old Pt8 Wilson, again a nurse at Detroit Receiving Hospital. We're told that she had just finished her shift on Saturday morning when police say Miller, who was wearing a blonde wig at the time, kidnapped her. He pushed her into a car and then drove off. Now Wilson, she was later found dead at a Novi apartment complex. Just a sad turn of events.
Pt8 Wilson.
Pt8 could light up a room. Her infectious smile, her giddy laugh.
Don't piss me off.
To hear her voice again as I walk through the door to her, "Hey girl," is all a distant memory.
Pt8 Wilson had a way of making people feel at ease, whether it was her patients, her coworkers, or her closest friends. She wasn't just a nurse, she was a source of warmth and comfort in a profession that often deals with heartbreak.
She had a heart of gold, always giving back to others. Our bond was strong, and we supported each other thick and thin. Her absence has left an irreplaceable void in our lives.
Her colleagues described her as the kind of person who would go out of her way to help, staying late to comfort a patient or checking in on a coworker who seemed overwhelmed. She wasn't just doing a job, she was living out her passion.
The thing that made her so special is that her soul matched her appearance. I was so proud to see that she did excellence, beautiful, smart, and driven in school.
A Dutch could never.
Outside of work, Pt8 was just as dedicated to her family and friends as she was to her career. She was a loving mother who worked tirelessly to build a better future for her child. She balanced her demanding job with motherhood effortlessly, always
I was just about to say, I hope she ain't have no kids.
My beloved niece was not just a nurse, but a caring and selfish mother who dedicated her life to helping others.
She always had a smile big enough to fill a room. I honestly believe she was the first person I recognized that had dimples. Me and her older brother were cousins, but we were just like brothers.
But behind that bright smile, Pt8 was facing a nightmare that no one saw coming. Her relationship with her ex-boyfriend had turned toxic, and even after things ended, he refused to let her go. Friends and family knew there was tension, but no one could have imagined the level of danger she was truly in. Pt8 Wilson did everything right. Her one mistake, she fell in love with Jameer Miller.
I was sitting, going through my daughter's phone and her notes back in December 1st of 2021. She wrote to herself, "I'm in love with a man who murdered the mother of his child."
And when she realized her mistake, Pt8 made the decision to leave him. On a random day in 2021, Pt8 Wilson posted a video of her boyfriend trying to break into her home.
Jameer, you breaking in my house? Like, are you serious? You breaking in my house, Jameer?
Why would I break in your house?
Why are you at my door with gloves
while trying to
on
cover
and
the
all that?
camera?
2 years later, that video would be entered into evidence in the case against Jameer Miller for the murder of Pt8 Wilson.
Right now, a manhunt is underway for this man, a 36-year-old accused of
And he was
kidnapping a
on the
local
run.
mother and nurse whose body police discovered last night.
According to her family, she tried to get away from him. She did everything she could because she strongly believed he had something to do with the murder of his ex-wife, and she knew he could do it to her too. She was right, but Jameer could not let her go, and he started stalking her. Pt8 was just
His
ex-wife, and everything she could because she strongly believed he had something to do with the murder of his ex.
If you knew that the ex-wife was missing, why did you get with him? Huh? I'm not getting with no man. I'm cutting ties. Immediately I found out that your ex-partner is not alive anymore. Or if you can't give me no cause of death, if it ain't a natural cause of death, if you don't seem that upset about it, I'm gonna be looking at you look crazy. Like, what do you mean? Like, she's still missing. Unless she got away and hid. I don't know, but golly.
Whose body police discovered last night.
According to her family, she tried to get away from him. She did everything she could because she strongly believed he had something to do with the murder of his ex-wife, and she knew he could do it to her too.
It was a murder.
Right, it was a murder. Could not let her go, and he started stalking her. Patrice was just going about her life, doing what she did best, helping people. On May 12, 2023, she started a brutal 24-hour shift, the kind that would leave anyone drained. But she pushed through, like always, giving her all for shift.
What hour shift?
On May 12, 2023, she started a brutal 24-hour shift, the kind that would leave anyone drained. But she pushed through, like always, giving her all to her patients and making it through the long hours. By 7 a.m. on May 13th, she was finally done. Exhausted, probably thinking about nothing but getting home and crashing into bed, she clocked out and walked to her car. But just as she was about to leave, out of nowhere, a man jumped at her, turning what should have been the end of a long shift into something far more terrifying.
She had just gotten into her car in a parking lot near Detroit Receiving Hospital when a man jumped in.
And he approached our victim as she was getting into her driver's side of her vehicle. He then got inside of the vehicle, forced her over, and fled with her inside.
It all happened so fast. One moment she was just trying to go home after a long shift, and the next, she was gone. When investigators arrived at the scene, they immediately got to work combing through evidence and checking surveillance
if I can't have you,
from
nobody
the
can.
mindset
Is really fucking wicked, bro.
Chilling. Just seconds before the attack, a man was caught on camera putting on a blonde wig, disguising himself for what he was about to do. And who was that man? None other than Jameer Miller Sr., Patrice's ex, the very person she had tried to leave behind, the man who refused to let her go.
Wilson was leaving Detroit Receiving Hospital after her overnight shift early Saturday morning when police believed Miller abducted her in the hospital.
A 24-hour overnight shift is not. Is
that
not crazy?
As a disguise.
Investigators quickly released information about the car and Jameer to the press, hoping it would help them find Patrice on time.
This is a photo of the black 2020 Lincoln Nautilus the two took off in. The suspect, 36-year-old Jameer Miller, is considered armed and dangerous, although police wouldn't go into detail about whether he was armed at the time of the kidnapping.
But by the time investigators tracked the getaway car to the parking lot of Patrice's apartment complex in Novi, it was already too late. There was no sign of Patrice inside her apartment, no sign of Jameer either. It was as if they had vanished. But then, officers turned their attention to her car, and when they popped the trunk, they made a gut-wrenching discovery.
Police found Wilson's vehicle at her apartment complex in Novi. Her body was discovered in the trunk.
Investigators didn't know much. When they popped the trunk, they made a gut-wrenching discovery.
Police found Wilson's vehicle at her apartment complex in Novi. Her body was discovered in the trunk.
Investigators didn't know much about Jameer Miller at the time, other than
just her ass. I thought he said her butt.
Patrice Wilson and forced her into his car. He had seemingly vanished after the attack, leaving investigators and Patrice's loved ones desperate for answers.
Police do believe the two know one another.
We're thinking it may be domestic related.
But when he unexpectedly turned himself in a few days later, the truth about who he really was started to come to light.
And we're learning that Jameer Miller turned himself in actually yesterday afternoon around 2 o'clock. Only now is DPD confirming that arrest as the investigation continues.
And that's when things took an even darker turn. As investigators dug into Jameer's background, they uncovered a chilling revelation about his family history, one that would send shivers down anyone's spine. Jameer had done this before to his ex-wife.
Jameer Miller Sr. is linked to a missing nursing student, 24-year-old Bianca Green, who went missing in 2011, last seen in Inkster. She was pregnant. Miller and Bianca had dated and have a child together, Jameer Jr.
Patrice's story is heartbreaking, not just for her family, but for her community too. Patrice was an active member of her community, giving back whenever she could, so she is greatly missed. But unfortunately, her story is very familiar. Elizabeth Candace Laird.
Elizabeth Candace Laird, or Candy to loved ones, had just turned 27. She was weeks away from a graduation.
It was May 13th, 2023. Elizabeth Candace Laird, a 23-year-old bright-eyed
Did that shit
woman,
happen
was
on the
finishing up
same
her
day?
shift at the local coffee shop.
Did they
It had
not,
been a
bro?
long
Did they
night.
not just say the shift that she worked was the same fucking day, bro? It was the day before. Day before, same year. Day before, same year.
And she was exhausted and ready to head home, but also excited to wind down from the day and enjoy a quiet evening.
Boy, I
She
tell
hadn't
you.
seen or heard from him in a while, and she was hopeful that tonight won't be different. Her ex-boyfriend, James Cockerham, had been calling her nonstop. At first, she hadn't been worried about it at all. She thought it was just a phase, a desperate attempt to
Where my
win her
shit
back
at?
because she'd moved on. But she soon realized he wasn't going to stop trying to get back in contact with her, because James wasn't the kind of person who took no for an answer. The messages he had been sending her had grown increasingly intense, but then all of a sudden, the texts stopped coming, and after weeks of silence, Elizabeth figured maybe he was finally understanding that it was over. Maybe he was finally leaving her alone. She was wrong. On that fateful day, Elizabeth, like Patrice, was trying to get home after a hard day at work. And just like Patrice, she was attacked before she could make it to her car. James emerged from the shadows, and before she could react, he lunged at her, grabbing her by the wrist with a force she wasn't expecting.
The man who murdered 26-year-old Elizabeth Laird, now behind bars. James Cockerham, captured today inside a home on Stopel near Joy Road on Detroit's west side, about 12 minutes from
He
where
said
the
Joy
victim's
Road
body
and
was
that,
found
T.
outside
Grizzly
an
song
apartment
popped in my
building near
head.
Shane and East
Sorry.
Lafayette.
Within hours, her body was discovered disposed of carelessly in the trash, like she wasn't somebody's daughter.
The 27-year-old student, who went by Candy, had dreams of becoming a nurse. Wednesday, police found her body in a dumpster.
Cops were called to the scene, and a search for James began. But for those who knew Elizabeth, her family, her friends, and her community, the horror of the night was just the beginning.
This arrest does bring her family some closure. Her mother even telling me she was confident that Detroit police would find this man. However, they are devastated at the sudden loss of a young woman with so much left to accomplish.
When James ended Elizabeth's life out of jealousy and anger, he had not just taken her away from them, he had also taken her future away from them. All the dreams they had for her, the life they thought she had ahead of her, was just gone. Just like that.
She never had a husband and no grandbabies. I won't ever see any grandbabies.
27-year-old Elizabeth Candace, fondly called Candy by her loved ones, was described as intelligent and beautiful. She was very ambitious, she had dreams, and always knew she would become someone special in life.
Our daughter was bright. She's intelligent. I always wanted to be someone, special in life.
But James Cockerham took that away from her.
This is the man investigators think is responsible. Saturday, James Cockerham was arrested on the city's west side.
James Cockerham, just like Jameer Miller, had had a dark side he had kept hidden, a dark side that would bring with it so much horror. During the investigation, they discovered that James had a lengthy criminal record and had even recently done time.
Cockerham had previously served time for... Detroit police say he met Laird in the elevator of this apartment building on the city's east side. Laird was staying with her boyfriend.
He had been let out not long before the horrifying events of May 13th, 2023.
He should have never been let out.
The first person he went looking for when he got out was Elizabeth.
Now, Detroit police are still trying to determine how Cockerham had access to that apartment building, as it is gated.
Losing Elizabeth broke her family. They went from making plans with her to making plans to bury her.
She did deserve it.
It's the worst feeling I ever felt in my life. Broken up in a million pieces.
Elizabeth's family had one thing and one thing to say to James Cockerham.
You've taken 27 years of joy, laughter, and happiness and ended it in a matter of minutes. This is a monster.
The story of Elizabeth Candace Laird's tragic death
It's like,
still
but
hangs
it's just
heavy
like,
in the
why
air,
did y'all
a
let him out
reminder
of
how quickly
why did
things
y'all
can
let him out of
spiral
jail?
out of control when love turns into
Why do they
obsession.
get let out of
Stories
jail?
like hers aren't isolated. They keep happening, and it's a terrifying reality many don't want to acknowledge. A year before Elizabeth's murder, another heartbreaking story unfolded, one that would also shatter lives in a way no one could have expected. This time, the victim was Zambrisha Works, a 22-year-old woman who had a great vision for her community.
22 years old.
Zambrisha Works.
Deserve so much more, and if I could give you the world, I would. If I could, I really would. But it's so rare to find somebody with a genuine heart and an open mind, 10 toes like that. Keep that, day. That's your power, a power that a lot of people don't have. And I swear to God, as a woman, I pray to God I grow up to be like you.
Wow. Zambrisha Works, known to everyone who loved her as Breezy, was a young woman with a future so bright it seemed unstoppable. At just 22, she had already accomplished more than many do in
That's
a
so
lifetime.
sad.
Breezy was smart, driven, and full of ambition. Her passion for her future and her community was deep, and she shared it with anyone who cared. Those who knew her described her as a rising star, someone who was destined for greatness. She was an intern with the Detroit Fire Department and actively involved in the Grow Detroit's Young Talent program whilst pursuing her own dreams. Breezy was dedicated to her work and making a difference in her community.
She made them better people, which we all should be doing.
She has such a big heart.
In the early months of 2022, Zambrisha had enrolled and completed the No Barrier to Success program, a program designed to help young people achieve their educational and career goals. Breezy excelled in the program, and everyone around her could see that she was on the fast track to success, well on her way to climbing the ladder and achieving all her dreams.
Zambrisha was an exceptional participant in their program. She's an exceptional young lady, beautiful young lady, smart, dedicated, on her way up the ladder.
A few months later, she was dead.
Wow.
Raw Emotions amid a disturbing discovery on Detroit's West Side early Friday morning.
I got up and looked out the window like, oh my God.
The man who had ended her life had left her there for her family to find her. It was a day no one could have expected. On the morning of August 12th, 2022, Zambrisha's family found her lifeless in the back of a 2017 Dodge Journey on Stahelin Avenue near Vassar Drive on Detroit's West Side. The news hit them like a punch to the gut. Zambrisha, or Breezy as everyone called her, had been full of life and promise. And now, just like that, she is gone.
A Detroit family searching for answers tonight after their loved one was found beaten.
Wasn't the last one in Detroit too?
Police say they made the discovery Friday on the city's west side, and tonight family and friends held a vigil in the hopes that someone can come forward and help solve the case.
When the cops showed up, they spent hours combing the area, looking for any signs of what had happened. They talked to neighbors, asking if anyone had seen or heard anything out of the ordinary, but it was like the streets were holding their breath, offering no answers.
Next thing you know, it's a bunch of cops knocking at the door. And they were asking me, you know, what time did I go to bed or did I see anything? And I told them, no, I didn't see anything. If I had I would have, said something.
Who would want to hurt her? Why? And how could someone so full of life have been taken away like this?
Whoever did it, may God be with them. For real, because that's wrong.
The fact that somebody can just do that to her.
1999 to 2022.
This is eating me up.
Breezy's family were hit hard by her passing, and they were desperate for answers, for some kind of closure. They were determined to find the man that unalived their daughter in such a horrific way.
He's gonna be caught. He's probably gonna watch this. We're coming for you.
He might be out here.
We're coming for you. Your justice will be served.
Whoever did this is a real coward.
Definitely.
In real life.
Definitely.
My daughter only this big. You didn't have to do all that to her.
That coward turned out to be Gregory Reynolds, a 46-year-old man who had attacked Zambrisha before firing at her multiple times at close range.
What is a 46-year-old? This might actually be the worst one. They're all horrible. Like, they're all fucking horrible, but like, did she know this man? Because this said boyfriend.
Her, he then dumped her body at the back of her, knowing her family would likely be the one to find her.
For that short time, she just touched us, her spirit, her energy, her love for the citizens of Detroit, her love for the fire department, and just her love and her energy for people.
Gregory was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and felony firearm, among other charges. And like every perpetrator on this list, Gregory was someone Zambrescia knew and trusted, someone her family also knew and trusted. According to Zambrescia's family, they had all known Gregory for years. He had become like family at that point. You never really imagine family hurting you like that. One of the most heartbreaking parts of Zambricia's story was that this was not the first time her family would experience loss like this. Just a few years before Zambricia's life had been taken, her brother had died in almost a similar manner.
Wow. 10 years ago today, I was in the same predicament with her brother.
Wow.
Exactly 10 years ago there. Here I am again. What
wow. People are so fucked up.
Even more
bro.
heartbreaking, Zambricia was just about to turn 23 years old, with her dreams finally within reach, when she was killed.
It had to be somebody
pathetic,
or you know,
pathetic ass excuse.
Tears can't help but fall
as
candles burn
men.
in memory of 22-year-old Zambricia Works. Her body was disturbingly found.
So this
after
wasn't
she had
even
been
like
beaten to
relationship
death and left
related.
in the
That was just
backseat of
like a long time
2017
close
Dodge
family
Journey
member.
on Stahala near Vassar.
Nurses who dedicate their
He
lives
had to be
to
preying
caring
on that
for
girl,
others are meant to be
and she had to reject him,
supported, not
and he
taken from
got
us
mad
in
and
the
killed
most
her
tragic
because
of
that don't
ways.
make
Yet
no
for
fucking
some,
sense.
Their past relationships became their worst nightmare. What's most heartbreaking is that each of these women had so much more to give. They had careers, dreams, families, and futures that were all cut short because someone they once trusted couldn't let go. It's a chilling reality, but it's one that demands attention. These tragedies highlight the need for awareness, the importance of protecting those we love, and the necessity of taking action when we see warning signs. Hey, thank you for watching. Our deepest sympathies go to the family and friends of Patrice Wilson, Elizabeth Candace Laird, and Zambrescia. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you know of other similar cases? Let me know in the comments section, and before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
That shit is pathetic. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That is sick. Like, the sense of entitlement people actually be like thinking they have or are owed is actually pretty fucking scary. Like,